What's up, Junkie Nation? We get to talk to Chepe Mariscal, who's got a fight coming up against Damon Jackson at UFC Fight Night. Topuria versus Spivak. It's coming up here very soon in the month of August. They're at the Apex in Las Vegas. Hey, Chepe, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How about you guys?
Good. It was really fun to watch. I was actually in South America and I was watching it and I was listening to the Spanish broadcast team that ESPN uses, and they were losing their mind. They loved the fight. I wanted to ask you, have you gone back and watched it? And if you did, what would you criticize yourself if you had to nitpick? Like what? Obviously, the win was nice, and I'm sure that's a lot that you did like. But what didn't you like?
Uh, a little bit, a part of it was like I wanted the killer instinct in the end. It was big on like I was big on like kind of calculating. We didn't even have a game plan. It was kind of a short notice, so we just went out there and fought and had fun. But besides having the fun, I wanted like the killer instinct to go out there and get the finish. Um, yeah, man, I just want to keep collecting finishes and wins and collect bonuses and do what I can. But yeah, man, I was just happy that we got the win. I performed the way I performed, and on to the next one.
Well, that's one thing I was gonna say. It looked like you were having fun, and it did. You know what it looked like at the end? You just kind of out toughed them. Honestly, you wanted it more. It showed, and like I say, the Spanish announcing team was really, really digging it. But I mean, obviously, defense, you need to clean that up a little bit. So when you go back, what is it that you, I guess, work on to make sure you just take less shots?
Uh, just a lot of like head movement, working on that. More boxing, more kind of angles. Just taking more angles. To me, it's kind of like so. Sherry was a counter fighter. He was different than like Trevor Peak and Jack. They were actually attacking me. So with Sherry I was kind of like letting him get confidence. Like, oh, you could touch me. Oh, okay, you could punch me. Oh, you kick me, but you got to do a lot of more than that to finish me. And that's what I looked at it as. Like, I took all his best shots, all his best takedowns, all his like signature moves they were saying, and man, I handled it. And then without even having that killer instinct, just having fun, I won. So it's like all right, well, now, obviously go and dot some things down. And you could tell, like, some of the cuts and stuff, like the cut that I got in that fight wasn't from a strike. It was from me switching southpaw, and we both collided heads. Even Keith, whatever the ref at the time was, came to me in the corner and was like, hey, man, watch out for the headbutts. And I was like, oh, okay. And if you know, like, if open stance, most likely you're going to have people colliding heads. So yeah, man, I made it fun. I switched my stance. I made it an MMA fight. I made it fun. I did a lot more MMA stuff than the other guy did. So it's like, um, yeah, man, just try to make it fun while I'm still in it. And yeah, man, just trying to put the shows on.
You got 50 G's out of it. Do
Yep.
you invest it in yourself again, like into mixed martial arts, your career, or do you enjoy it,
No, I
or do you
invest,
or do you
man.
save
Like
it?
it, like this is like I know like 50 G's, yeah, it's a lot and stuff like that. But I looked at like I took half that chunk, paid off a bunch of my stuff, and then the rest like fight camp. Like for like this fight camp, I had all that money to put into like my training, my coaches, the recovery rooms, the nutritionists, all that stuff, man. So it goes all straight into that. Like I'm already living my dream. This is a dream I chased since I was like 9 years old. So I'm living it, and it's like, all right, like traveling, fighting all the best guys. It just makes it fun, man. It just right now I'm living it, but right now all the racks are going to things for like me and my future.
Tepe, you're on a nice streak right now, and I know you have to be focused on what's ahead of you, but it's we're all human, man. Is it difficult to not kind of look towards the future and what could be coming soon?
Of course, man. Like I'm big on like trying to go. Like if you're not in it to be a champion, like then I don't know why you're in this business after all. Like I'm in it to, become a champion, a UFC champion. Obviously, I said yes to everybody, even Dan Ige. I said yes to anybody that kind of fell off, but I got a lot of no's, and so it's like it's hard to really push it and try to get to that belt. When guys are saying no, and I was glad that Damon Jackson said yes because he's a guy on, on that path. That guy's obviously won some big fights. He's put some great performances. He has a nice record. He's a vet. He's a guy who kind of went through the system of he has to be an LFA champ, he has to be this, has to be that, and then go to the UFC. I kind of fought all the gladiators of outside of the UFC before they went into the UFC. So I felt like okay, we had different routes and stuff like that, but now we're here.
How do you keep from being one of them guys that ends up with like an 8, 9 fight win streak before they start saying, okay, he's getting close to a title shot? Is that more things that you do in the cage? Is it things that happen when you get the mic? Is it a blend of it all? Like, how do you avoid being that guy?
It's a blend of it all. Like I really talk to my corner. I have a partner who's been fighting too. So it's like really jotting things down, just getting ready for fight per fight. Like I could say, oh yeah, in 5 years I'll be a UFC champ, but I know, I got to worry about the next day. So I look at it as just keep on, staying in the grind, man, until I obviously get, into the top 10 and then make a little more noise and hopefully once get a title fight.
Keep it real for us, okay? This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
one of the toughest divisions, and I almost feel like we're saying that about every division at this point, but this one is one of the tougher ones. When you look at the champ right now at the top, do you look at him and say, "Man, I got something for him today," or do you feel like, "I know where I'm at, and it's gonna take a couple more fights for me to get to where I feel comfortable challenging him"?
Nah, man. Like I'd challenge him now if I could. If I could go if Damon Jackson falls out and either Topuria jumps in, fuck it, I'm down. Like those are guys that I look at all the time. It was Volkanovski at the time, and I was watching film how to beat him. All those guys, like even at lightweight, I was like, man, what if I win the belt at featherweight and I fight at lightweight? Like I like playing those kind of things. Like I fought Trevor Peek at lightweight and yeah, I love the fight game, man. I look at it as like it's just like yeah, all you could do is keep it real in this game, because as if you try to come in it like as fake as you want, the realness will come out for sure.
Can you tell us about hood judo? I'm interested. This kind of sounds like guys get tossed, if they mess with you out in the streets. Is that what it is, or?
Yeah, man. What's funny is, I call it hood judo because it's from Chicago. It's and nobody really knows like where I got my black belt from, but it was, if you Google it or whatever, it's under Bob Shermer, the Combat Do team, and that was what it was. Like I wasn't like, I never got in a street fight because I threw people before they even try to like punch me or try to do anything. So when I tossed them, they some will lose the air out of their stomach. Some would, you know, be kind of concussed. I'm glad I never got caught up on that. But yeah, man, it's the judo that's you just can't predict out of me. A lot of guys even here try to tie up with me. I had Gaethje tie up with me. A bunch of people tie up with me, and they're like, okay, that's a different story for sure.
Give me a good story of you tossing someone before it got ugly. Is there a good one?
Gaethje, Justin Gaethje, man. We're like literally throwing hooks at each other, and I threw an underhook and he went heavy on it, and I just tossed him over. And it's not like one time. Like I throw these guys a couple times, not to be cocky or whatever, but my judo is there. I have all the film. I have a bunch of stuff that could get me famous. Like I've thrown TJ Dillashaw. I've thrown Corey Sandhagen. I've thrown so many people, dude. I could, like, if I had a list, it just, it'd do wonders. Like I had to even help other fighters in fight camps and not use my judo because it was like second nature, And then they're like, all right, Chepe, he's not fighting a judo guy. So, I had to limit so much, and yeah, man, I just anybody that kind of tries to tie up with me with my mixed martial arts style, it's hard to time the stopping. But yeah, man, just if I get a nice underhook or overhook, anything, like Jack Jenkins learned, like you got to fall the right way or it's not going to be a good night for you.
I just saw Carl Parisian do an interview with Quentin Rampage Jackson on his podcast, and they're talking about the top judokas. There's obviously the ones that have performed on the world stage, like a Ronda Rousey getting a bronze medal, Kayla Harrison getting a gold medal. But then there are the ones that used it in the octagon, like Carl did. I don't know if you remember Carl Parisian. He's about
Yep.
15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But how about, in your opinion, who has impressed you with their use of judo in a fight in the UFC or maybe another major organization?
Man, it's tough because there's so many people now using judo throws. Like I had a couple friends go out and fly out to I forgot what spot in California, but there's like a big legendary like judo coach there, and there, I don't know, just people. It goes all over the place with that. Like I loved GSP's judo when he used it. John Jones when he did like silly little throws. Like there's a lot of guys with that kind of stuff. And to be honest, I always looked at their judo and I was like, man, my judo is better because when I was 6 years old, I was just consistently throwing. And then if like those times back in the day, our coach, we couldn't leave unless you did that one throw 100 times and then you could leave. So I have repetition all the time. I still train my judo. I try to not use it as much because a lot of people don't know how to fall on it. Yeah, man, there's a lot of guys on the list for that judo stuff, and even I have teammates that end up using judo now. I have guys in other promotions doing throws that I've shown them. So it's like, man, like there's just a mix. I like to be that one dude that they're like, hey, this is the guy for judo.
And I should have followed up and asked you this, but Dillashaw, Gagey, Sandhagen, when you threw them, what was their reaction? Were they did they laugh it off, or were they pissed? Like how was that?
Well, they were obviously pissed because nobody, dude, to get thrown. Like I've been thrown before, and you feel like, what the fuck, like why did I just, or why did I just happen? Like they were, and obviously they were in camps, so they were like not in a good mood. But I'm here to throw the mix, like I'm trying to get my stuff too. I'm not gonna try to just, okay, it's your camp, here you go, here, like, nah, bro. Like I'm getting my reps too. Like I'm gonna get my throws, I'm gonna get my strikes, I'm gonna get my wrestling. Like end of the day, we're like cool about it, but like me, I felt salty after a throw,
Gagey looks like he's your boy. I see him on your social media. You guys are closer in weight. Do you get a lot of training in with him?
Yeah, man. When he's in camp, like right now he's obviously out of it for a little bit, doing his own thing. And yeah, man, we just train a lot. We don't like hang out outside and stuff like that. I literally don't hang out with anybody, to be honest, outside. But end of the day, like, we're always in the training room and we're always looking at each other. We're like, all right, first round. Oh, last round. Oh, cage round. All right, cage round. Like they're all different kind of categories. Oh, at Onyx, okay, at Onyx. Oh, at this cage over here, cool, let's go. Like, and they know me. I never say no to a sparring match. I'm like, hey, sometimes when we were like kind of like a little bit hanging out, when he had like fight nights and stuff, we would even be tussling, on the side, outside and stuff like that. So it's a cool, like, we're checking each other's styles and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's bondage through the sport for sure.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Well, thanks for the time today. We look forward to your fight with Damon Jackson. Man, he's been doing it for a long time. This is going to be a good fight between you two, locking up here. He just shook off the couple losses that he had. He's coming off a win, and prior to that, he had a nice run. You're on a nice run, 6 in a row in your last 6, 3-0 in the UFC. So I'm actually looking at this fight as like one of the favorite ones that I'm looking forward to, aside from the main event. So
Yeah,
thanks
for sure,
for doing the show, man. It's fun talking to you.
no problem, man. Have a good one, guys.